Hi, welcome to the Betty PT bSKINNY program. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about how we eat when we are away from home. Specifically, I'm going to show you what I ate when I went on a cruise. It was not easy. Let me tell you that it was not easy. And it was the first time that I was taking the way I eat and my lifestyle away since I've started this way of eating, very clean eating, and it was definitely an experience. I think all in all I probably did 50-50. I didn't do that great, but I wasn't too bad either, so I was quite happy with what I did considering I was on a cruise. But I think next time you learn, so next time I think I'll be better. And better equipped. So as soon as we went on, the first meal I had, I didn't take anything with me, and I thought, let me just see what they've got. So I went down, and I'm showing this one. This one's kind of, I started eating it, so I started eating it. I thought, oh, I better take a picture of this. And so you could see they had they had a salad bar, which was great. But a lot of the beans that they had I could tell they had a little bit of oil. So I could tell that was the case. Again, very limited, so I just kind of had to go with it. And the beetroot, that looks like canned beetroot. So I'm assuming it's got a bit of sugar in it. So although this looks, if anybody looked at that and go, oh, that's so healthy. From my perspective, it's kind of not, it could have been so much better. But I can't exactly take fresh produce on a ship going into international waters and going onto international land. Can't really do that. I didn't try it, but I thought, I didn't want to get stopped at customs, because our customs, I think they're pretty strict. So let's talk about what I brought with me. Okay, so before that, at the main restaurant, they were trying to accommodate as best as they could. And I said to them, I just want some plain rice and some plain veggies and plain potato. And they brought me this. Now, this looks great, but that's not going to fill me up. That is no way going to fill me up. I was starving after this. Oh well. But you know what? They were amazing. And it was interesting because at one stage, I was standing at the buffet, and a chef noticed that I was kind of perplexed, and I was looking around trying to figure out what I was going to eat. And he said, look, I'll make something for you. They were that amazing. So, you know what, I'm not going to fault them, but, it is what it is, and you just sort of try your best. But what I brought with me, this is going to be interesting. You're going to find this very interesting. I brought my granola. So that's Chef AJ's granola, and I made kale chips. And that was a savior, because I didn't resort into eating a lot of the rich foods and all the snacks. So I was really saved by that. Another thing I brought my cooked potatoes. So I didn't bring any fresh produce, but I brought cooked potatoes, and nobody stopped me with that. And I actually had it in my luggage. Oh, well, nobody stopped me. So it didn't go off the boat, and it didn't leave. It didn't go onto international land. So I had the potatoes, and that was okay. That was all right. So that saved me, that I had just granola and the kale chips and my potatoes. But the potatoes, I was away for 8 days. You're not going to have potatoes for 8 days. That's not going to last. Good thing is they did have a fridge in the room, so I could put the potatoes in there, but they're going to go off by that stage. You can only have them first few days. So, I did struggle, because when I went to go get food and I wanted veggies with rice, the veggies would have oil or some, you could tell it was like drizzled with lots of salt and lots of seasoning, and I could tell either that I'd go some nights and say, can I just have some rice, and the rice would be filled with bacon or shrimp or something, and I'm like, I can't have that. Breakfast, it was okay. I also brought my own milk, so that was fine, because it was sealed in a UHT container, and so I could have my milk, which was unsweetened almond milk. and I had that in my fridge as well. And so I also brought along a portable a flask, like a little mug that seals closed, and so I could carry that around with me and then add that, so I wasn't worried it was going to spill or anything, and then I could just pop that back in the fridge. So it was really easy to do. It was just my almond milk, and that was good because I could have it with my breakfast. So they did have sort of like a muesli mixture breakfast cereal, which I had, but I'm sure that some of the fruit in that was sweetened with sugar, but not a lot of it. But they did have the fresh fruit, so I had loads of that with my milk, and so that was a pretty decent breakfast. I also brought along my own vinegar, but I actually didn't end up needing it. They had balsamic, they had red wine vinegar, and they had apple cider vinegar, and I could put that on my salad as a dressing. I did have a bit of a cheat meal, so I had a burrito that was vegan, so I'm sure that had loads of salt in it, but it was vegan. And it was funny because, you know, I'm like, no cheese, no meat, and but lots of some, you can see it's got some cilantro, some pico de gallo there, and also some really hot sauce, and that was really nice. But I only had that a couple of times, but you know, just to tie me over. And that was okay. That was okay. So you can see another breakfast here. So I've covered it with lychees. They were nice. They were really nice. So lychees and cantaloupe. It was pretty good. What I did eat when I was overseas, or drink I should say, was a fresh coconut right off the tree. So guy chopped it off a tree and we had it straight away. It was fantastic. So you can see there, I'm having some canned peaches, just to change it up a little bit. Yeah, again, a bit borderline because you don't know if it's sugar added or if it's with juice. And here's another one of my meals with rice. The rice has some sort of either coconut milk or something oily. There was something oily in that, and you can see it even with the picture. And the potatoes, there's a little bit of oil on that one. And you can see with the beans as well, a little bit of oil. But the veggies, the fruit, like you see the salad there, that was absolutely clean. And I just added some vinegar on top of that, and it was beautiful. So, you know, I was generally eating like this, which, you know, if you look at that, you go pretty healthy. But, you know, I look at that as kind of being a 50-50 situation. But the good thing was, even though I did have a bit of the oil, and I'm guessing there was salt in there, I still didn't get a lot of cravings, which was good. There was a little bit because they were doing chocolate buffets at the end. Can you believe it? Everything was chocolate. A little bit of cravings, but not too bad. So I think all in all, if you try to stick to the plan as much as you possibly can, even in situations when you're away from home, you will get the benefits out of it. So don't think, oh, I'm on a cruise, that means that, you know what, I'm just going to eat whatever. No, try to really do the best you can with what you've got. And they are really accommodating. Like, you know, the chef would have made a personal meal for me if I had asked. But it's 3,000 people on the ship. They don't really want to be doing, you know, a separate meal just for Betty. No, no. Here's another one of my breakfasts. So you can see I'm having my tea. I did bring along my own tea as well. I like the Nerida tea. It's Australian and it's pesticide free, so bonus. And you can see that I've got papaya and some prunes. Not that I was having any issues, you know, going to the toilet or anything, but I just, you know, just mixing it up a little bit. I just wanted to show you, like, this is what we had at the, you know, the nice artwork with the watermelon carvings that they did. It's quite amazing. Really, quite an experience. Look at these amazing carvings. And that's about it. So you can see, all in all, it looks pretty healthy. I wasn't 100%. My family thought I was being amazing. Thank you, family. But, you know, you just sort of look at it for what it is. And it's like, just because you go on a cruise does not mean you have to go crazy with all the food there. There is a lot of rich food. That's what I saw. It was actually quite interesting because my husband's stomach wasn't handling it too well by the end of it, and he just said, "I just want to go home to your cooking," which was nice. Very plain, very simple, but quite nutritious. Now, the wonderful thing about being on a cruise is the activity that you can do. So although, you know, from a food perspective, I was, 50-50, you know, could it have been better? Probably not, unless I got specific food made for me. And I know a lot of people would have been like, well, why didn't you? Yeah, no, I didn't want to be an inconvenience. I was traveling with my family. I didn't want to inconvenience them for them to wait for me. And I just wanted to have an enjoyable time. I'm on holiday. But I did take advantage of all the activities. So, and that means like from landing in Sydney, walking around Sydney, enjoying Sydney. So we put all our luggage in storage, and then we went around and just enjoyed walking around Sydney. On the ship, what my husband and I did is we put the kids into the kids club, and we started from below the bottom deck, and we went right around the ship, all the way around, going up all the way to the top level. So it's level 12. So yeah, we did so going all the way around, then up the stairs, all the way around, then up the stairs. So we did that and we enjoyed that. So if you look at my steps during the time that I was away, even though we were on a ship, we were actually quite active, and we were doing things with the children like playing basketball, playing mini golf, sitting by the pool. They were playing in the pool, just walking around. And also when we hit the islands, there was a lot of movement there as well. Now, one thing that I absolutely loved is we did a lot of snorkeling. So I did a lot of swimming when we did go to the islands, and that's not even reflected on my activity because I took my watch off when I went swimming. So you're not even seeing all the activity that I did, and you can just see the activity is pretty high every day, which was, yeah, it was pretty good. So from an activity perspective, I think you can do a lot, and I encourage it. So I know you're resting when you're going on a cruise, but it's also good to take advantage of sort of stretching your body and allowing it to move and move a bit more often than what it's used to. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed all the footage, because it was just absolutely lovely. And so I think all in all is prepare as much as you can, know what you need before you go, and just do your best. Okay, so just do your best. Things I could have done better, it would be things like taking cans with me next time I go. I did take cans, but they had the beans there, and I'm like, I'll look pretty bad. But, you know, I could have done that. I could have opened up those beans that I had, you know. There's also pre-cooked rice. I tried to buy that to be plain, but I could not find any in the supermarkets that were just the plain rice. They all had preservative in them, so I wasn't going to buy that, and I didn't. I did look. So hopefully by the time I go next time, they would have that, because if I had those rice packets, I could have just taken that and opened that, although there was nowhere to heat it up because there was no microwave. So there was that as well. Okay, well, thank you so much for listening, and I hope this has been quite interesting to sort of see how you prepare before you go away. And you've got to also take into consideration where you're going and what you can take, because, you know, customs are pretty strict. So I was lucky to have been able to take my granola and my potatoes without anybody stopping. If I was on a plane though, I don't think that would have been the case. Like on an international flight, I think it would have been a lot stricter. So do be mindful of where you're traveling to and what you're doing. It's always safe to obviously have sealed bags of something. They don't really question that as much, but you know, if I want to make my granola, it's not the same as the ones in the supermarket, so I don't want to buy the ones in the supermarket. So there we go. And I was having the granola as dessert, so I wasn't having it for breakfast. I was having their breakfast cereal and my granola. Okay, thank you so much for listening, and beti signing out.